very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Many congratulations to all of you for having successful in your whatever you wanted to be and being selected for this administrative officer position. I wish you all the best, and I really appreciate the efforts of the government of Assam under the Director Municipal Administration for having planned this kind of training program for you new officers. I understand the importance of this training, which I never heard before. In between, in the career, you get time to have a lot of orientation program, workshop, seminar. But really, before you take up your career, it's very good that you are given extensive training about your duties, your rights. But at the same time, I was wondering as to how come Dr. Tankeshwar Das, who approached me to deliver a talk addressed to you on a topic which somebody might think that how is it so relevant, which in my opinion is very much important and relevant. A person can be very highly educated, very successful, which in my deliberation I will explain as to what is successful. But what is the role of a person's life in career, of the importance of morality and ethics? And that's good that you have decided to have chosen this topic. I have addressed my students on various occasions, my teachers, on various subjects. The subject is at the core of my heart. And in fact, somebody needs to have guts to speak on the topic, because when you talk about some information, some knowledge, what is seen is that whether he is right in his imparting those information and knowledge. But when we speak of morality, you speak about the ethics, you need to check your own credentials. My dear friends, you can vouch our journey of Royal Group thus far had been success only because we had stood by our ethics, our morality. We have never compromised, and we will never ever compromise on our value system, on our ethics. And I wish you, when you begin your career, you take a place, come whatsoever, you will never compromise. There will be situation when there will be pressure from your superior, from society, from different corners. But if your ethics are strong, you are man of strong morality, you will never bow down. And as such, I really appreciate the topic chosen for the day. Language may be an issue as to what language I should speak. Mr. Das told me that, sir, you can speak in the English. However, these days, while I speak about the Bharatiya knowledge system, I emphasize on regional language, Hindi language, and our Sanskrit Bhasha. So in between, I will be using some of the Sanskrit sloks which are relevant for the topic, and I will give their meaning in the Hindi as well. At the outset, I will like to start today's deliberation with a story. As we gather here today, ladies and gentlemen, I am reminded of a profound story, one that resonates deeply with our shared theme, moral and ethical values. This story, woven with threads of integrity, empathy, and wisdom, serves as a guiding light for our discourse on the importance of moral principles in our lives. So let us delve into this narrative together as we explore the significance of moral value in shaping our individual paths and collective destinies. This is a story of our former Chief Election Commissioner of India, Sri T.N. Seshan. Once upon a time, T.N. Seshan was traveling with his wife in Uttar Pradesh. You might have heard about this story, but for them who has not heard yet, they stayed in a guest house in a park. Wife of Session wanted, he in fact could see two nests on a tree and wanted to get this nest for decoration at his home. She asked the police personnel, the PSO, to bring those two nests for his house. The police personnel went to a cowboy nearby and told him, I'll give you 10 rupees, please bring two nests. The boy denied. He came to T.N. Seshan. T.N. Seshan himself went there and asked him, I'll give you 50 rupees. Yet the boy denied. The reply of the boy astonished T.N. Seshan and will astonish we all. The boy said, Babuji, whatever you give me, I will not bring this nest. Why? Because the mother sparrow, when get back in the evening with the food for the baby sparrow in the nest, and she will not find the nest, she will cry, and I have no guts to see them crying. After this incident, T.N. Seshan had a lifelong guilt that a shepherd boy could think and had the same sensibility why he could not think even after being so educated and an IAS. Why did not that sensation arise in him? He said that my position and my IAS disappeared in front of this little boy. I became like a mustard seed in front of him. Education, position, and social status are not the criteria for humanity. Life is enjoyable only when there is knowledge, compassion, and intelligence. Now, friend, I'll begin my deliberation with some of the topics which are relevant to the topic. The first is purpose of life. There is a big problem in everybody's life. None of us know as to what is the purpose of life. Getting education, a degree, a job, a house, a vehicle, getting married, getting kids. I'm sure no will agree that this is the purpose of life. Materialistic achievement, creation of wealth, never. At the same time, I do not have a correct answer as to what is the purpose of life. But my own perception about the purpose of life would be, while these are offshoots, we are human beings, these will come as your journey proceeds. The purpose of life could be how we have a happy life, how we can make others' life happy, people are surrounding us, the society, how we can give back to the society in whatever way, in the way of innovation, research, in the way of creating job opportunities. You can also do a lot for the society in your own way. Video, please. Happy. This video is of Ravi
I woke up one day
Venkatesan,
about age
chairperson of
45, and I
Women's
realized
India.
I had a
Sound.
theory of happiness, which was completely flawed. My theory was, if I work really hard and I am really successful, people will, give me a lot of recognition and reward, and I'll be happy. And I realized where that happened. It started happening in school. Every time I got good marks, the teacher smiled and my mother gave me a hug. Every time I didn't get good marks, there were frowns. So, like an obedient dog, I tried to get good marks. Then I went to join the company. Every time I did some good work, boss was happy, gave you a raise, a promotion. Every time you didn't do it, you got a kick. So you're trained. Okay? So you get on this treadmill. The problem is, like an alcoholic, you need to drink more and more to get the same high. And one day you wake up and you say, man, how long can this continue? I'm no longer enjoying this. I'm no longer happy. So I spent 10 years reading about the literature from different religious faiths. I went through counseling to understand this issue of happiness. First of all, happiness has nothing to do with success or achievement or what you have in your life. We all know people who have everything and are miserable. We all equally know people who have nothing, but they're always smiling. So it's an attitude. It's a psychologist called this synthetic. Synthetic means it's made, manufactured by our mind. And so the trick here is to control your thoughts. The second thing I learned painfully is the more you think about yourself, the more unhappy you're likely to be. The more you lose yourself, the more happy you are. So you can only be happy if you forget about yourself. It's been a very good lesson for me. The third one is acceptance. And, there was a beautiful moment for me when the shoe dropped. Irfan Khan, the actor, he was dying, very young, cancer. And the person was interviewing. He said, "How are you able to smile when you know you're going to die in 2 months?" I said, "Well, I'd hope life would be different, but life has no obligation to give us what we expect." And then I put that with Dalai Lama, who said, happiness comes from liking what we have rather than having what we like. Okay? So this is very hard for me because I used to think, I wish I were a big CEO of a big company like Satya Nadella at Microsoft. Okay? Why have I not become that? And I used to go a little crazy. Then I realized, life has not turned out too badly for me. So let's be grateful for that and enjoy that. So cultivating this acceptance is very, very important. And the final piece around happiness is relationships. Loneliness is the biggest driver of unhappiness. And the more we are connected with each other, the happier we are.
He was Ravi Venkateshan, chairperson of Cummins India. So you have seen the different aspects of and different definition of happiness. Friends, there are two very important days in our life. When and why? He is William Barclay. The first day is the day when we are born. And the second is the day when we discover why. We all remember when we were born. And fortunately or unfortunately, we are reminded of this day every calendar year. I don't know how important it is, but we never ever try to discover as to why we are born. The day we discover the fact as to why we are born, and we try to find an answer to the fact that why we are born, I think the work is done, the purpose of life is known. You have seen the movie 12 Fail, many of you. I will again like to show you a video clipping of this movie. Whereas we always see people saying that my purpose of life, my aim of life is to become a doctor, to become an IAS officer, to become a, crack UPSC or APSC, whatever. But that small school boy has given a different narrative that IPS बनना तो एक माध्यम है, मेरा एम तो IPS बनना नहीं है, एम तो समाज में जाकर कुछ क्रांति करना है। वो जो उसके गांव में चीटिंग से लोगों को पास करना था, उसे मुझे बंद करना है। जस्ट सी द वीडियो 12 फेल।
ये आपका कौन सा अटेम्प्ट है?
लास्ट अटेम्प्ट है मैम।
और सिलेक्ट नहीं हुए तो?
कोई बात नहीं, हार नहीं मानूंगा, रार नहीं ठानूंगा, अपने लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति तक नहीं रुकूंगा मैं।
लास्ट अटेम्प्ट है, लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति कैसे होगी?
आईपीएस बनना लक्ष्य नहीं है मैम, लक्ष्य तो देश को सुधारना है। अगर मेरा सिलेक्शन नहीं होता है तो मैं गांव जाके टीचर बनूंगा और बच्चों को पढ़ाऊंगा कि चीटिंग छोड़नी होगी, और अगर वो उस उम्र में ये बात समझ जाएंगे तो जीवन में कभी चीटिंग नहीं करेंगे। और ये बात मुझे तब सूझी जब एक दिन नेहरू विहार की लाइट चली गई थी और मैं स्ट्रीट लैम्प के नीचे पढ़ रहा था कि इफ आई कैन नॉट बी द सन दैट लाइट्स अप द अर्थ, If I cannot be the sun that shines upon the earth, I can still be a lamp and light up my street.
Good. Be a lamp. You may go now.
So you
Thank you,
need
sir.
to decide.
Thank you.
Done? So you need to decide what is your aim, what is your lakshya. Friends, live life passionately, purposely, then it has got some meaning. And when your profession becomes your passion, you really experience joy. And when your passion becomes your purpose, you experience miracle. And if this be so, I am sure each of you will experience joy as well as miracles in your life. Another issue which I am going to tackle is about the parents. Friends, because of your being selected for this position, you will have some compulsion of not being with your parents. But it's not important that you be with your parents physically. Stay connected to your parents. Parents are the living God. We are so busy with our spouse, with our kids. Even adopting the Western culture, we are taking so much care of our pet dogs. But ever have you thought that why you are here? You are here because of the blessings of your parents. Because of the hard work. By spending their hard-earned income, they have probably sent you in the best of the schools and colleges, and they have put you in the coachings and tried once or twice to see that you crack APSC. But after that, we forget their well-being. The best of you probably will be sending them some pension kind of amount, but it's not enough. They want your connections, your presence. So my request to you will be, always keep connected to your parents. They are the living God. Whenever you get holidays, Sundays, other holidays, try to be there. In our college, we have a system. When we take interview, we hear many of the teachers saying that we ask whom with you will be moving, with whom you will be moving. Many of them, they say, sir, my parents. We become so happy. We give them extra marks, weightage for that. We see their mindset that they are bringing their parents. In our epics also, so much highly said about our parents. I'll just narrate 2 or 3. अभिवादन शीलस्य नित्यम विद्यो उपसेविन चत्वारि तस्य वर्धन्ते आयुर्विद्या यशोबलम. जो लोग अपने वृद्ध माता पिता की सेवा करते हैं, उनका अभिवादन लेते हैं, उनके जीवन में 4 चीजें हमेशा बढ़ती है. आयुर्विद्या यशोर बलम. आयु, यश, विद्या और बल. तो आप इसे न भूलिएगा कि माता पिता के अभिवादन से कितना फायदा मिलता है, और माँ कितनी बड़ी चीज होती है और पिताजी कितने बड़े चीज होते हैं. ये मैं 3 श्लोकों से आपको बताना चाहूँगा. ना अन्नोदक समम दानम, न तिथिर द्वादशी क्षमा, न गायत्र्या परो मंत्रो, न मातु परम देवता. पानी और अन्न से बड़ा कोई दान नहीं होता. द्वादशी तिथि से बड़ी कोई तिथि नहीं होती. गायत्री मंत्र से बड़ा कोई मंत्र नहीं होता, और माता से बड़ा कोई देवता नहीं होता. नास्ति मातृ क्षमा छाया, नास्ति मातृ क्षमा गति ही, नास्ति मातृ क्षमम त्राणम, नास्ति मातृ क्षमा प्रिया. माता से बड़ी कोई छाया नहीं, उससे बड़ा कोई सहारा नहीं, उससे बड़ी कोई रक्षक नहीं, और उससे बड़ी कोई चीज प्रिय नहीं. पिता धर्म, पिता स्वर्ग, पिता ही परमम तपः, पीतरी प्रीतिमा पन्ने प्रियंते सर्वदेवता. पिता धर्म है, पिता स्वर्ग है, पिता ही सबसे श्रेष्ठ तप है. पिता के प्रसन्न हो जाने पर संपूर्ण देवता प्रसन्न हो जाते हैं. You are a public servant. Your interface with the public is on regular basis. But at times, you forget that you are a public servant. You just think that I am a government servant. You don't even know that the salary paid to you is paid by the taxes paid by the public. At times, there is attitude of the officers that, because in our country we have inherited from the English that we call the officer sirs, sir. And the sir behaves the business community people like anything. No boy to. Kaliya hai bo apni. What is wrong in behaving properly in my understanding? You empowered by your chair. No. You try to empower by your knowledge, by your behavior. What is harm in talking nicely? Why I am telling at this stage that if you inculcate this behavioral aspect in your character, you are respected by the people. They call you sir. They call you to inaugurate their shops. Ever have you tried, any officers tried to call a businessman to cut a ribbon of a new office? Why? There are very great citizens who have created job opportunities. प्रिय भाषा का इस्तेमाल करना बहुत जरूरी है. प्रिय वाक्य प्रदानेन सर्वे तुष्यन्ति जन्तवः तस्मातेव वक्तव्यम वचने का दरिद्रता. मधुर वचन सभी को संतुष्ट करते हैं, इसलिए सदैव मृदुभाषी होना चाहिए. मधुर वचन बोलने में कैसी दरिद्रता. जो व्यक्ति मीठा बोलता है उससे सभी प्रसन्न रहते. सो माय रिक्वेस्ट टू यू विल बी, you will have your own compulsion not to do or to do something. But what is the harm to explain that gentleman that look, you have not complied with these requirements, so we will not be able to give you a particular NOC or we cannot do a particular job. But why to misbehave with them? Why to take yourself something very superior person in the society? Maybe that person who has come to approach you for a small job has got hundreds of other employees senior to you, giving more salary to them. So while I am talking about the empathy for the public, try to keep yourself into their position and then try to understand what for this gentleman has approached you. I have heard saying to me, one of my friends in fact shared, where one officer went and said for some reason, मैं आपकी फैक्ट्री बंद करवा दूंगा. Just see the word. मैं आपकी फैक्ट्री बंद करवा दूं. Yes, there are clauses for which a factory has to be shut down, a showroom has to be shut down, no trade license. But does it mean that these kind of words are to be used? What did that friend say me, you know? बोला अशोक, मेरे मन में आया कि इसको बोलूं, बेटा तू मेरी फैक्ट्री बंद तो करवा देगा, तेरे में गट्स है कि ऐसी फैक्ट्री खोल के दिखा देगा. तो मेरा कहने का बाद उन्हें आप बताएं कि देखिए सर, आपके ये क्लॉजेस फुलफिल नहीं हुए हैं, आप कृपया इनको करिए, अदरवाइज हमको तो लीगल जो हमारी ड्यूटी है वो मुझे करनी पड़ेगी. सेम थिंग, वन वर्ड यू हैव यूज्ड, बंद करवा दूंगा. सी, सो माय हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट टू यू न्यू अपकमिंग ऑफिसर्स विल be very, very humble in your life. And always try to be yes rather than no philosophy. There are some kind of people who always say no, 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 no. Try to be yes. Yes, let's see how it can be done. Because the people who will be approaching you, they are the progressive people. They have come for some good thing. So try to listen to them well. Keep good relation with the public. And fast track is a thing connected to this public relation. You know, most of the people who will be approaching you will be approaching, bearing a few who may come for some ulterior motive or for some ill thoughts, getting some illegal work done through you. There will be very few, I tell you. Most people will come, sir, मेरा file आपके पास पड़ा हुआ बहुत दिनों से, इसको clear कर दीजिए. Now tell me what is the harm. After 1 or 2 years, you will become smart in keeping the files piled up. This is the most practice in our offices. Bearing few officers I have seen that the files get piled. They are always busy in their routine work, in taking very seriously the superior's job, rather than seeing that the progressive works are the ones for which the public has approached you. Maybe it is a very small construction of his own house, maybe a factory, maybe apartment. You know what happens? It is a win-win situation when you do fast track. Government gets the revenue faster. He starts the work immediately. there is no interest burden. If you delay it sometime a year or two, the project becomes non-viable. So fast track should be in your mindset that हमें कोई भी काम आता है तो उसको हम जल्दी से जल्दी उसका निपटारा करें. आदानस्य प्रदानस्य कर्तव्यस्य च कर्मणः क्षिप्रम अक्रियमाणस्य कालः पिबति तदृशम. चाणक्य जी has written a श्लोक on this also. कार्य यदि नियत समय पर न करके कई दिनों के पश्चात एक साथ करने के लिए संग्रहित किया जाए तो उससे होने वाला लाभ हानि में परिवर्तित हो जाता है. अतः हमेशा सदैव अपने सभी कार्य यथा समय करने का प्रयास करें. Now I am coming to a very important and relevant topic for morality and ethics. It is outcome of a survey that religion has a direct nexus with the morality and ethics. More religious people are more having ethical values and morality. Those who have gone to the temples, mosques and churches, they are more into charities. Video please. You see the video first, then I'll narrate.
For the past 22 years, year after year, this Gallup has been conducting a poll called Values and Belief Poll. They found that as more and more Americans became non-religious, the American society was moving towards more liberal values on premarital sex, abortion, divorce, out of wedlock childbirth, etc. The study produced certain interesting statistics and shocking results. When Gallup first included polygamy on the list in 2003, only 7% of the Americans said it was morally acceptable. In 2003, 7% of the Americans alone felt that polygamy was morally acceptable. And that 7% fell to 5% in 2006. But over the past decade, this percentage has gradually increased. Today, it has touched 20%. It has increased 3 times more. It means 20% of the Americans believe that there is nothing wrong morally with polygamy. 61% of the Americans, this study says, 61% of the Americans say that having a baby outside of marriage is morally acceptable. It means 6 out of 10 Americans believe that it doesn't matter, you can have a baby out of your marriage. The study made by this Gallup found that there is a gradual decline in religiosity, and this gradual decline had an impact on the value systems that people had. Not only of Americans, but also of people across the globe. Another interesting study conducted by them was of people from 145 countries. This study revealed that adherents of all the major world religions who attended religious services in the past week, that is, they went to church last week, Sunday, whoever went to church last time, they reported higher rates of generosity, such as donating money, volunteering, and helping a stranger than do their co-religionists who did not attend services. Even for people who were non-religious, those who attended religious services because of compulsions at home exhibited more generous behavior. Another global study conducted by them revealed from 140 countries that highly religious people are more likely to help others in terms of donating money, volunteering, and helping strangers despite them having on an average lower incomes than those who are less religious or non-religious. Therefore, how do you reconcile these scientific findings recorded by these organizations with the views expressed by scholars and philosophers who also produced data? Dear friends, we cannot shy away from the fact that in the annals of history, a lot of bloodshed has happened only in the name of religion. Therefore, while we acknowledge that the seeds of moral behavior may perhaps be sown in larger numbers because of religion, religion has also been counterproductive in terms of the bloodshed that it has triggered in the annals of history. This is the reason why, instead of relying solely upon religion, instead of relying solely upon spirituality for regulating the conduct of human beings, the man had to develop laws. In fact, the Dalai Lama in the year 2002 said something very interesting. He said, all the world's major religions, with their emphasis on love, compassion, patience, tolerance, and forgiveness, can and do promote inner values. But the reality of the world today is that grounding ethics, this is what Dalai Lama said.
So he is a former justice of the Supreme Court, V. Rama Subramanian. He was here in our campus in the last month. So you have well understood what he is saying, that how religious faith, how decrease in the religious faith has led to decline in the morality, so much so that they consider pre-marital sex as okay. So there is a direct nexus. मेरा आपसे अनुरोध यही रहेगा, आप धर्मपरायण व्यक्ति बनो. हमारे सनातन धर्म में कहते हैं ना, धर्म की जड़ बहुत गहरी होती है. आपका सब कुछ अस्थायी है. एकमात्र जो धर्म है, धर्म मीन्स व्हाट? रिलीजन. सत्कर्मा इज धर्म. चला लक्ष्मी चला प्राणस चले जीवित यौवने चला चले च संसारे धर्म एको ही निश्चल. एकमात्र धर्म है, वही निश्चल है. बाकी ये लक्ष्मी आएगी जाएगी, आपका यौवन चला जाएगा, एक दिन आपका जीवन भी चला जाएगा, पर धर्म हमेशा आपके साथ रहेगा. Now, while he has emphasized the thought of school that more religious people have more morality and ethical value, they do more charity, there is no denial of the fact that with the Western mindset, he has also narrated one thing, that in the annals of history we have seen that the religion has become the reason for many bloodsheds. Here I have an answer in the Sanatan Dharma. I am telling you, Sanatan Dharma, for that any religion, but I am talking about the Sanatan Dharma, never talks about Hinsa. Ahimsa we are taught in Sanatan Dharma, but if you talk about Ram killing Ravana, you talk about Pandav killing Kaurab, you talk about Krishna killing what you call him, Kans, Hiranyakashipu being killed by Prahlad. Here Gita says that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamaham paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. You all know meaning. I mean to say, जब जब धर्म की हानि और अधर्म की वृद्धि होती है, तब तब भगवान अपने साकार स्वरूप में आते हैं. क्यों आते हैं? साधुओं की रक्षा करने के लिए, दुष्टों का विनाश करने के लिए और धर्म की भली भांति पुनः स्थापना करने के लिए युग युग में भगवान साकार रूप में प्रकट होते हैं. मैं नहीं समझता हूं कि ब्लड सेट रिलीजन के वजह से होता है, वह रॉन्ग माइंडसेट के वजह से होता है. एक और श्लोक है चाणक्य जी का, कृते प्रतिकृतम कुर्याद हिंसने प्रति हिंसनम तत्र दोषो न पतति दुष्टे दुष्टम समाचरित. हम पाकिस्तान को समझा समझा के जब थक जाते हैं, तब उनके देश में जाके हम उनको मारते हैं. हम कभी भी वी आर नेवर फर्स्ट मूवर फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ, we take action for our defense, But these kind of action has to be taken, which is allowed in our dharma, in our epics. Now, while religion has got the morality direct nexus, there is another direct nexus between morality and success. Higher the morality,
2001.
greater the success. Now, before knowing this, you need to understand the meaning of success. Two persons started their journey of, say, entrepreneur together. Somebody may have 500 crore, another may have 50 crore. We cannot say Mr. A having 500 crore is a more successful person. Success is a different kind of definition. If you look at the top 20 people, super rich people of the world, and you read their story, you will come to know that their families are broken. There are divorce. There are separation from the families. There are cases of suicide. That is not real success. Accumulation of wealth cannot be the only criteria to decide the success. I will just show you a small video of 1 minute of Gyanavatsab Dasji. He is a saint from Akshay Patra, Babs Swaminarayan.
There is a big difference between growth, progress, and success. If you increase the turnover of your company from 50 crores to 100, from 100 to 500 crores, it is called growth. It is not success. Let me redefine you the definition of success. Increasing your materialistic possessions in all ways is your growth. That growth, if it is aided by ethics, ethic means discipline, means honesty, means norms, it is called progress. So growth plus ethics is progress. And that progress plus humanity, morality, and spirituality is called success.
So, you have seen the definition, of course. In the earlier video of that 12th fail, the student who himself had cheated in the first attempt, but when he was taught a lesson of morality, he never again tried to cheat. With that morality, he worked hard and he became successful. That is a real success. He became IPS, and that, you know, is a this thing of a based on the real story. Now, if I talk about the success story of anybody, say for that matter in the sports, very high moral and ethical value of those cricketers, Gavaskar and then Sachin Tendulkar and maybe then Dhoni. In the Bollywood also you have seen Akshay Kumar and Amitabh Bachchan. I am not excluding the others' name. I am just giving few examples. If you talk about the business icons, the people like Narayan Murthy, Tatas and Adim Premji, all big icons, they have never done any illegal activities. They have done legal, because everybody is afraid of illegal activities. But they have gone beyond legality. They have gone ethical. They will think about the nation first. They will not try to optimize the profit. So these people will ever be remembered. Our Prime Minister, for that matter. See the value system. But on the contrary, these people were never less intelligent. They were hardworking people. Probably there was lack of ethical values, and that led to their downfall. If I give examples of few, they are Harshad Mehta, Raju of Satyam, Subrato Rai, Naresh Goyal of Jet, Nirav Modi, Lalit Modi, Vijay Mallya. They were very hardworking, very, very intelligent. Probably lack of morality led to their downfall. Now, if you talk about yourself, if you have more morality, you are not going to become a very big businessman. If that be the idea that to create wealth, you could well be an entrepreneur. You have your own reason to be happy. And if you have more moral values, you are more ethical, I'm sure you will be happy. You will create a happy society. You will be respected more. You will be chosen for Assam Gaurav, Assam Saurabh. Now, another issue, whatever you do in the process of your duties, always try to see and take the philosophy of nation first. See the bigger picture. Whatever you do, you try to see what will be the advantage to the society, the last person in the society. देश का क्या भला होगा इससे। कभी भी आप सेल्फिश मत बनो, अपना ड्यूटी, वेल आई से सेल्फिश डजंट मीन कि आपको कोई पैसे मिलते हैं, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द करप्शन। आप अपना मत देखें, आप देखें देश का क्या भला होगा। इवन आप अपने बच्चों के लिए सेविंग करते हैं, पर आपने कभी सोचा कि ये सेविंग क्या काम आएगी। नेहरू जी का एक स्टेटमेंट है, हु लिव्स इफ इंडिया डाइज, हु डाइज इफ इंडिया लिव्स। अगर हमारा ये हमारी जो धरती माता है, मदर अर्थ नहीं रहेगी, द चैलेंजेस ऑफ द फ्यूचर जनरेशन इज व्हाट, the existence, very existence of humankind, mankind, animal kind, the plants, the mother earth, water reservation, the climatic issues। हमें हमेशा बिगर पिक्चर देखना है, देश के बारे में सोचना है, देश की इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन के बारे में देखना है, न कि छोटी छोटी हमारे अपने इंटरेस्ट की चीज़ें हैं उनको ध्यान में रखना है। इस पूरे पृथ्वी को, इस पूरे संसार को एक परिवार की तरह वसुदेव कुटुंब की भावना से काम करना है। अयम निजय परो वेत्ति गणना लघु चेतसाम उदार चरिता नाम तु वसुदेव कुटुंबकम। इस भावना से काम करना है, और जब भी कुछ करें आप ये देखें कि आपका एक्शन समाज और देश के लिए कितना हितकारी और कितना अहितकारी हो सकता है। आई एम कमिंग टू ए टॉपिक which is very very important. Many of you may not like, but I had no option but to take up this issue. Aman, by telling this I am not going to give any sermon. Telling somebody don't indulge into corruption, I don't think is the right thing. But if we really try to understand why and where from the seeds of the corruption starts. It starts for the very fact that most of we do not understand the meaning of, purpose of life and the way of life, and what is the use of being corrupt, generating wealth. Is that the answer to be happy, or it is not the right answer? If we try to understand all these, I am sure we will not indulge into corruption. There was a time when Rajiv Gandhi had made a statement that 1 rupee sent from the center, only 15 paise go to the true beneficiary. The things have changed, of course. Now there is a direct transfer system also. However, we cannot say that our country is a corruption zero country. But if we talk about the India becoming superpower, amongst the many expectations, one of the agenda is that the country need to be zero tolerance on corruption. Now, when I talk to you about your perspective, I will tell you some important aspects. One, do you think that your salary is less than or higher than an equivalent person of your qualification, of your experience in a private sector? I'm sure they get less salary. You get more salary with lot of perquisites, with security of your job till 60, 62 years, with pension guarantee, with lot of power and with lot of respect. They don't indulge into corruption most of the time. If you really want to be a good human being, you should not have chosen this. And if you have chosen this, then you should be happy enough with your good salary, power, perquisites, whatsoever. And then when you create this for your next generation, I'll also read out a para from the speaking tree. And if you make abundance for your children, what they are going to be, a survey of the world's 100 richest people once revealed that the vast majority of them did not inherit their economic fortune. 73% of them were self-made. Of these, 18% had no college education, and 36% were children of poor parents. It doesn't matter whether your children will be children of rich parent or poor parent. How is that people who were born into poor families, many of whom did not receive any higher formal education, were able to amass such wealth, and that too with no help from the government or any organization? The answer is that it was because of their own efforts. This illustrates a basic principle of the nature. Deprivation is not just a lack of something. Rather, it is at the same time also possession of something else. What is that? A strength and an incentive to overcome the sense of lack. Impelled by the law of nature itself, a person who considers himself to be deprived or lacking something develops a strength or urge to make efforts to acquire that which he thinks he is deprived of or lacks. This inner urge keeps him active until he reaches his goal. So inner urge is more important than the external condition, what we call it, whatever luxurious things you will be able to create with the corrupt money. To succeed in anything, it is not just favorable external conditions that are crucial. It is the internal motivation that matters in most. In fact, it is often the case that people make such people complacent and inactive. On the other hand, someone who faces favorable external condition develops certain discontent that in turn can provide him the incentive to make active efforts to change things for himself or for the better. If they are capable children, they will make their own fortune. So about ignorance about the purpose of life leads to the corruption is the first point of view. Secondly, I'm sure you all start for the transfer posting request to your superiors and the mantris. That is also a seed for the corruption. The moment you make a request and you become success, you indulge into wrong practices, because the day he will ask you to do something wrong, you have no option but to do, but morally very high, ethically very high values, you will not indulge into. So my request to you, you have a 30-35 span years of career. You will be sometime posted in Dhimaji, sometime in Kokrajhar, sometime in Jorhat, doesn't matter. By default, you will be certain part of your life in good places, certain part of your life not so good places. But why everybody is hungering after, I mean to say, good posting? I have experienced three kind of officers in my life. One, who are non-corrupt, very good, very intelligent, but so intelligent they are afraid of signing a single file. They will not do anything. They are frustrated people. They will not allow somebody else to gain progress. They are anti-progressive people. They are not corrupt, but they are not be considered as good officers. There will be second grade of officers who will do every action very fast. They will see the progress of the nation. They will see the progress of the other person. Oh, बहुत अच्छा बात है, करिए आप building बनाइए, factory बनाइए. But in turn, I will not expect from you anything. Great officer. Try to be officers like that. There will be third, who will say, etu no hobo. Kintu pichot hobo. They are the corrupt officers. They will create all types of problem for the person and then indulge into corruption. Now, you will be caught. You have seen last year, the anti-corruption, the vigilance, CM vigilance, the police cell, they have arrested 117 people in one calendar year, 1 year. That was the highest number ever. So just try to understand how much hard work you have done to reach to this position. If you are caught, you are gone. See the condition of your spouse, your kids, your parents. That is what we see. But what our epic says, this is more important. For these kind of officers, I will always request you not to become the officers like number 1. Try to be officers like number 2, and never ever officers like number 3. For the officers like 3, the epic says, अन्यायोपार्जितं द्रव्यं 10 वर्षाणि तिष्ठति प्राप्ते च एकादशे वर्षे क्षयमूलम तद नश्यति. अगर आप अन्याय करके कोई पैसा कमाते हैं, उसकी म्याद हमारे शास्त्रों में 10 साल की है. 10 doesn't mean exactly 10. I mean to say it has a span. The moment you enter the 11th year, the whole money will go in whatever manner. You may get sick, your family may get sick. यू मे फॉल इन सम डिजास्टर। ये पाप की कमाई आपके पास रहने वाली नहीं है। एक दूसरा भी है, दीपो भक्ष्यते ध्वांतम कज्जलम च प्रशूयते यद अन्नम भक्ष्यते नित्यम जायते तादृशी प्रजा। जैसे दीपक का प्रकाश, दीपक प्रकाश देता है क्या, अंधेरा खा के, इसलिए वो कालिक पैदा करता है। उस तरह से जैसा आप अन्न खाएंगे वैसी आपकी संतान होगी। डजंट मीन व्हाट यू ईट, इसका भावार्थ है यदि मनुष्य गलत तरीकों से कमाए धन का अन्न खाता है तो उसकी संतान भी उसी तरह से गलत कार्यों में लग जाएगी, और यदि आदमी ईमानदारी से कमाए अन्न को खाता है तो उसकी संतान भी ईमानदार होगी। इसलिए परिश्रम और ईमानदारी से प्राप्त अन्न खाना चाहिए, ऐसा हमारे शास्त्रों में कहा गया है। दूसरा एक और है, आपका अल्टीमेट एम तो है कि रात को सुख की नींद सोएं, न कि ट्रबल, अरे यार उससे पैसा ले लिए, उसका काम नहीं किए, पकड़ा गया तो क्या होगा, ये तो गलत हुआ। दिवसे नैव तत्कुर्यात् येन रात्रौ सुखम भवेत यावत जीवन च तत्कुर्यात् येन प्रत्य सुखम भवेत। दिन भर ऐसा करे कि रात को सुख की नींद आए, जीवन भर ऐसा करे मरने के बाद आत्मा भी सुखी से जाए। I will also like to quote APJ Abdul Kalam ji. When there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. Where there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. And when there is harmony in the home, there is order in the nation. And when there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. Leadership quality you need, because you will be heading your organization. Now, what kind of leader? I'll have to be a little faster because my time given was 1 hour. I am almost 50 minutes done. You need to be a role model. A good leader makes an organization, a bad one breaks it. You yourself has to be a role model. For that matter, your discipline. If you reach the office not in time, you cannot expect your subordinates to reach office in time. If your personal characters, everything is looked at. You should be a man of values. यद यदा चरति श्रेष्ठ है, यद यदा चरति श्रेष्ठ तद देव ईतरो जनः स यत् प्रमाणम कुरुते लोकः तद अनुवर्तते। श्रेष्ठ लोग, श्रेष्ठ मतलब you are the leader, you are considered to be the श्रेष्ठ. Whatever you do, rest of the people follow you. No organization can achieve success till all the employees at all levels become stakeholders in the process. They need to be inculcated with a sense of pride in the work they are doing. And this is your work as a leader, that the subordinates should have the sense of pride in getting the work, take them along, and then and one more thing, which also has been said by Kalamji, as you know, the SLV third was a failure. And when then SLV third failed, then the head of our research center, Professor Satish Dhawan, he faced the press. And then they started working for the next, which was Rohini 1, which was a successful, and then Rohini 1 was success. He sent Abdul Kalamji to face the press. So the quality of the leader is, number one, first is about the resilience and courage to get up after the setback and carry on with the task. You will also maybe unsuccessful in many of the projects given by the government. So to get back is one quality. And secondly, be a role model leader. Take the failure on the self and give the credit of success to your team. I've almost come to the concluding part of my today's deliberation, which is about way of life, yoga. All videos is covered? All videos. Yeah. Now, many of you are married. Some of you will be married soon. So you will have the grihastha jivan. Bhogena sha yogasyad grihasthasyapi jivane kevalena tu bhogena grahastham dukhitam bhavet. गृहस्थ के जीवन में भोग के साथ योग का बड़ा योग और उसकी साधना होनी चाहिए, ऐसा बताया गया है हमारे शास्त्रों में। केवल भोग से गृहस्थ का जीवन दुखमय बन जाता है। इसलिए ये बहुत जरूरी है। हमारा जो इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम है, हमारा जो इंडियन ज्ञान सिस्टम है, हमारी इंडियन जो कल्चर है, भारतस्य प्रतिष्ठे द्वय, इट इज सेड भारतस्य प्रतिष्ठे द्वय संस्कृतम संस्कृतिस्तथा। भारत की प्रतिष्ठा दो चीजों से, संस्कृत भाषा और भारतीय संस्कृति से. Try to be imbibe the Indian culture, Indian values in your personality, in your character. That will make India. That will make your character. Unfortunately, we Indians are cheating and copying most of the Western culture, leaving aside the good ones. There are many good culture, very good practices in the Western culture. Unfortunately, we are not trying to adopt them, but most of the ones which are not so good, we are practicing. So my request to you, for your own character, for the nation building, for your children to look at you as a role model parents, try to practice Indian culture rather than Western, and try to feel pride in taking the glass in the left hand rather than the right. You might have seen our Prime Minister get reaffirmed when Biden and they were toasting the glass. The waiter brought the glass. Modi ji ka wo video nikal ke aap dekho. What a... At that stage also you want to get confirmation, pani hai na isme? Because that is the tradition, you have to, but he took the ginger water. The reply was ginger. So that is their tradition that they toast. This is not our tradition. हम तो डाब का पानी पीते हैं, नींबू का पानी पीते हैं, गंगा का पानी पीते हैं. सो हमारे देश में आज के दिन जो ये मद्यपान की जो प्रथा है, ये बहुत खराब है. देश को ये बहुत गलत रास्ते में ले जा रही है. When I say this, I say with the guts, but I know most of you may not like it. But I am doing my duty. मद्यपानम न कर्तव्यम तेनो उत्पादन प्रजायते. मद्यपानम न कर्तव्यम तेनो उन्मादः प्रजायते. उन्मत्तेन मनुष्येण कदाचारो विधीयते. Intoxication is caused by drinking. An intoxicated man behaves in a nasty manner. Therefore, one should not drink alcohol. Even Shakespeare, in one of his drama, you might have at least seen this, where there is a narration, "Oh God, that men should put an enemy in their mouth to steal away their brains." Just imagine, I don't find any reason that we feel proud and we feel the upper state of people of the society in sharing and toasting and cheering the glasses. Take pride like me, if at all required, to cheer with the left hand with ginger water or nimbu pani. Friends, I have enough to share with you on this topic, which is very close to my heart, I again say. But I always try to be very disciplined in taking as much time as is given to me. And today the time allotted was 1 hour. And so I will have to wind up my today's deliberation. Whatever I have been able to try to bring home, I have with some video clippings and some Sanskrit slokas from Gita and Chanakyas and other epics of our Shastras I have tried. I wish you loved it. At the end, I again wish you all good luck for your future journey, which just will begin soon. And since the Holi is in swing, I will wish you a happy Holi again in Sanskrit sloka. Ayurdhanam subra yashovitanam, Ayurdhanam subra yashovitanam, Niramayam jivan sanvidhanam, Shamagato holiko soyam dadatu te mangalikam vidhanam. इस होली के त्योहार पर आपको लंबी आयु, धन वैभव, निर्मल यश, निरोगी जीवन और सम्मान मिले. यह होली आपको मंगलमय अधिष्ठान प्रदान करे. इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को यहाँ विराम देना चाहता हूँ. थैंक यू वेरी मच.